How are we doing out there, beautiful souls? I'm recording this on the 13th of December 2025, literally the day after the 12/12 portal of what is called. Um, and I really want to give you some self-care tips and some few techniques and probably drop into a small short meditation to really help us navigate what we are going through. And what I want to do is go back in history, go back in time of 2 years ago. 2 years ago, probably back more, just over 2 years ago, I was basically getting this really strong sense to hold two meditations, which I called in the end Return to Innocence. And this was the 12th of the 12th and the 21st of the 12th, so the winter solstice. These numbers kept coming up and up and up. And I was shown basically the square 4 years. From that point, we will be going through a huge paradigm shift individually and collectively to ultimately claim back our power, to become more conscious of why we think and why we act and what we do, and to ultimately choose love, unconditional love, or fear. And to get into the subconscious mind, to get into the unconscious body, or the energetics, the paradigms that we live through and have lived through, and closing down all the paradigms of fear, of all the illusions, because it has basically got out of control. And this is about returning to the present moment in love, in heart, unconditional love. And what was shown to me was that quite some time ago, when Earth fell, whether this is Atlantis or whenever this happened, whenever the frequency dropped, whenever people started to manipulate and create fear to try and control, there was somehow like a protection put across Earth that whenever a soul was abused or suppressed and another soul or entity was trying to take that consciousness, that soul, that pure light, they couldn't. It was taken underground and protected, which kind of runs along the whole essence of Persephone and how she was taken underground and protected. And interestingly, she recently, well, about 6 months ago, showed me that she's never not been free. She's always been free. It was us that haven't been free. And what it showed was actually when we become conscious enough, when we start to claim back responsibility of whenever we act in fear and separation, which is the illusion, when we realize that we are all one, we all come from the place of light, of divinity, of Sophia, and realize that actually when we attack or have fear or judgment towards other people, we are inverting that pain and misery towards ourselves too. And so how we can become the masters of our own existence and have a shift in humanity is when we do the inner work. And so we are coming up to 2 years now since when I recorded those. And this is what I see as the tipping point for humanity and this new world. Everything is starting to shift. This year, the snake year, this has been a year of shedding. It's been like a year that you just couldn't quite get anything done and couldn't move forward unless you started to release these old patterns, these old belief systems that run deep in our subconscious mind, which plays out for 98% of our thought and actions on our unconscious body, our bones and our blood. And so we are literally coming up to the middle point of this. And this feels exceptionally significant for us. And we will be affected in multiple ways. And I feel we'll feel this exceptionally physically because our bodies are needing to do this purge. They are needing to let go of these old patterns and belief systems. And for me, for my own personal experience from yesterday. I had a beautiful fascial treatment. So it's really sort of in the body. I do a lot of work, meditation, working through the energetics, working through the mental and the emotional, and keeping that as clear as I possibly can, as often as I can, as consciously in the present moment as I can. However, my body still needed that support. My body needed to catch up. If you recognize that we are energetic beings and that actually our bodies need that physical support, they need that stillness, they need that rest. And for us in the Northern Hemisphere, we are pushing ourselves. We need to be quietening. We need to be wintering. We need to be allowing our bodies to sink deeper, to quieten, to, as we witness what nature does, which what we are. She's gone through autumn. She's released her leaves. She's let go. She's the power of letting go. She is enabling grief, the releasing of what she no longer needs, taking everything she needs back into her branches and into her roots and letting go what she doesn't need anymore. But know full well that that leaf will return to the soil, that will return back into the roots. And so grief enables us growth and abundance. But grief can hold us in the illusion of separation and keep us stuck. And as we're wintering now, we are really being called to come really into our truth, into our power, find our light, find that sacred light that's deep in our bodies, that feeds as you go through the mitochondria DNA. There is light. We are light. We have light within every single cell of our bodies. And so it's calling us to come back into this consciousness. This light that is within ourselves is what created us. It was a spark of light when that fertilized ovum then starts to multiply into itself and dividing. It was that light that created us. It's that light through the waters that carries this wisdom. We didn't get involved with the creation of ourselves. There was something very divine and the wisdom that sits within the womb that allowed that to happen without consciousness. And so we are being guided to connect into that wisdom that lays deep within our bodies. We're being called to consolidate our energies. We're being, rather than withdrawing and hiding away from the world, it's more about consolidating your energy. Look at where your mental energy is being spurred off to. Who's trying to control that mental energy? What energetic cords do you have attached to people, to circumstances, to security, to structures? And all of this is calling us to come back home, back to ourselves, back to our heart, back to our bodies, to find the true safety that lays within us. And we are all going through this, so there's no judgment here. But we attach to people, we attach to situations, we attach to material things, because that is what has given us safety. And recognize that that holds us in a state of slight disempowerment. And we need to call back any attachments and to find the inner safety and sovereignty within us. So I did a meditation not so long ago where I literally felt myself cocooned and going down into the earth, which ultimately has shown me to be able to release the fear of death, to move through what we believe is death. And let's face it, we all carry that, right? How, if we are letting go of ourselves, will we return? And it had to really feel the deep trust in my heart to follow and go deeper and deeper and deeper into the earth, to allow the attachments to people, the fear of losing relationships, the fear of what all of that would be going on, and to know that I had to trust, had to simply trust in my heart and in that process. I mean, it led me ultimately to the most beautiful golden city deep in the earth, where my soul was free. And I witnessed myself walking into this city completely in awe of this beauty. And so there's never a death. There might be a death to rebirth, but you're constant. You're an infinite being in a finite moment. We're energy. You cannot destroy energy, only transform. And so this can be a death of self, not necessarily the physical. It could be the identities of selves, the roles that you play, the beliefs that you play. All of these things we need to be able to let go of. And I have seen that in the body as the feminine rises to hold that. And the fear is like, well, if I let myself go, can I just, what will be of me? And it was about lose thyself to know thyself, which is what Yeshua talks about, the oracles of Delphi talk about. We are needing to go through a process of remembrance of who we truly, truly are. And there is much out there that is trying to take our mental energy, because going through this soul amnesia, we don't actually realize how powerful we truly are. And through doing this Daughters of the Golden Rose, this container that has showed me and connected me through the rose lineage, through Sophia, it basically says there isn't the God that we think there is. Sophia created the masculine to enable for her to be observed. And so we are the creators. We are the observers. We are very powerful. The temple is our body, is our mind. And so how we choose to perceive things is what we can create. So we have to really realize, how are we perceiving things? Are we seeing it from a perspective of fear or unconditional love, separation, victim, or unity and sovereign? We have to start to really ask these questions. And when we're exceptionally busy, our subconscious is taking over the show. So we're never really giving ourselves the opportunity to bridge to the subconscious mind and the unconscious body to go, what belief systems are you carrying? So we not only through our own experiences, our mind in theta wave when we're up to 13 years old, we are absorbing everything, all the patterns, the belief systems of our ancestors and who they carried that down. But also our blood and our bones carry this. They carry trauma. The mitochondria through the feminine lines carries trauma. And I see that happens whenever it began. It can go right back to thousands of years. And let's face it, the feminine line has experienced an awful lot of suppression and still does. But that's changing. The feminine is rising and she demands justice, equality, and truth. So all the chaos that we are seeing in this world is coming from a place of unconditional love and truth. Even though all we may see is the fear and separation. The undertone, the energy that's coming up, that's bringing that up to the surface, is unconditional love. And so we, as we are the creators, we are the observers, we need to really become very conscious of why we are thinking, doing, and acting the way we are. And the ones that can manipulate the mind are the ones that can control and create. So we have to start consolidating, calling out back our energy, social media, all these different things that are there to capture and sow seed into your mind. We have to just look at what happened in COVID, how that was psychological warfare, how they created confusion and fear. The two together goes beyond the prefrontal cortex, which is logic and reason, and goes right smack back into the limbic system and creates control, can manipulate the mind. And so we need to start calling back our power. We need to start calling back our power and our sovereignty. And so going back to this winter solstice that we are seeing, this 2 year, we are literally at that tipping point. And it's going to be Which trajectory do you choose? Do you want to continue fear? Or do you choose love? And appreciate that your body and your mind is going to go through this process. It's having to create neural plasticity, that it has to start to weed and uproot all the crap and allow space for the pureness, the light to come through. We have to start weeding our own minds and our bodies to clear out what isn't serving us anymore. Okay, so if you're doing lots of practice and self-care and energy work and regular meditations, and the meditations that I am recording on every full moon or energetic shift that's happening, yes, our energetic bodies are working and keeping up, but our physical needs that support too. And it feels like we are needing to really purely rest, tune into our bodies, be in contact with Mother Earth, get our bare feet, even though it's cold, get your feet on the earth, connect into it, get the free electrons. It will then start to help reduce the stress, the oxidative stress. It helps your blood flow. It helps you breathe better. It helps just detox. It helps if you're creating static because we're walking on these fake surfaces. It enables us to release that static. I see it often through the body when people are holding on stuff because they're trying to understand. They're not allowing this energetic flow to come through them. So it becomes kind of very static in the body, and that's causing pain and discomfort. And when they actually open up the soles of their feet and just visualize releasing like a lightning bolt, grounding into the earth and just letting go, they see their body twitches, it shifts. You might even feel like electric shock coming out of their bodies. They're releasing stuff, but it's because our heads are so involved trying to understand rather than just being in acceptance. And my journey and my process and how I work is all about finding the intelligence that is in your body, in your heart. And your heart is the portal that is pure. This has been a big journey, certainly this year, where I've had to be really tested to find what is pure and to know myself, to know thyself. I saw this awakening, I thought it was a gift, a new level of channeling and different things. But what that did is opened me up to something else attached to me. And so I had to really go, well, who am I? How do I contact what is real? And when it showed me, just drop into your heart. Just be present in your heart. Every conscious present moment, be in your heart. Because your heart is the anahata, it's the unstruck. It's the pureness of your sovereignty that you hold there. And it was actually through connecting through that portal of my heart, keeping my body in the sphere around me, not allowing going, I'm going to open up and see what comes through. Through the portal of the heart, it connected me to everything. It connected me to the Sophia light that was within my womb, which then brought on Daughter of the Golden Rose, which has been a hugely significant journey for myself and the others that are starting to join into it as well. And it has brought inner safety into my neural system, a surrendering that I never thought I could actually meet because my neural system was still holding on to shock. And it has taken me deep into my womb, deep into my bones, into my blood, into my DNA. And it is helping me rewrite and return to what is my blueprint. This has been exceptionally powerful. Now, I'm not saying I've got this sorted, because there's a lot of unpeeling. They talk about the snake here. There's a lot of skins to let go of here. But we can do that, a lot of that energetically, but we still need to give our body the support to do that. And so when I had the treatment yesterday, a huge emotional release, just massive, like a lot of trauma. And I could see what was coming back. So I'd done some work through the Daughters of the Golden Rose, where I connected to my inner child energetically and I could feel her. But yet my body hadn't quite caught up with that. It was still holding the trauma of what happened at that point. And so it's about bringing the two to unify, to come back together, to consolidate. And when we can hold that inner safety, that inner sovereignty, we can start to be able to know that we can let go of things that aren't serving us. We may start to realize that we're in a codependency and start to, which is fear. And we have to start to realize when you've got that inner safety, you can start to have a different perspective on things and then hopefully make more conscious choices. But also to know that doesn't necessarily mean you lose relationships. It just means you're starting to ask them to shift them, to create a different dynamic, a more healthy relationship and connection. And that is the difference. But you have to go through the fear of the death of that to release it, to be able to allow it to reform into how it's meant to be. So this is about letting go of all the releasing, of the fear of releasing fears. It's huge. And so I want to read something to you that came through about how you can see things that are going on in the world and not allow your systems and energy to feed it. This is what I realized when I created the Infinity Health Hub, was actually the fear that I didn't like, the disempowerment that I didn't like throughout COVID, was like, well, if that is happening, there must be a positive. Where is the positive? Let me create the positive. This is the rule of science. If a negative exists, so does the positive. So I'm going to put my energy into what I can create. And I created the Infinity Health Hub. So we need to be able to go, there's a fear. I see it. There's a negative. Where's the positive? Even if you don't know how to get it, ask your heart to guide you to that. If you need more peace, if you're seeing fear and separation, call for more love and unity in your heart. So you can be that alchemist. You can be the creator of that, rather than feeding your powerful mind onto what you don't actually want to create. And so this is all about calling back the power of who we truly are and doing it through the wisdom that is our heart, to know whether we are pure or not. And this is a huge release process that we're going through. I can see it quite in my head as that's trying to shift. So I've been practicing a lot of Om breaths to help try and release it out through the Shashami channel. Just imagine my body opening up. Being in a bath as well, being in water be really, really good. Being in the earth elements that you feel really connected to. And I'll when I was in the bath, what I did is I held a really good technique. I'm going to put this down a bit. So you get your hand with the thumb working vertically. I'm going to put my left on first. So you have the thumb coming up and it comes across the chest, and then the other hand does exactly the same and lays over. A bit like that, basically. And with that, what you're doing is you're connecting onto the sternum. You're working near the vagus nerve that's running sort of like just parallel here. You've also got the phrenic nerve as well, which are really key. They've been showing me in clinic, like different people coming in and but for different symptoms, but the same thing was being shown. It was showing me left phrenic nerve, which comes down through the neck. It's one of the first nerves that complete when we're in an embryo. And then it comes from the neck down, cranial nerve down the neck, down through the sort of sternum, the breastbone, and then it feeds into the heart, feeds down into the stomach, the diaphragm, and the sort of duodenum. So it's quite really influences our digestion system. And you may find pain around the neck, around the shoulders, because that's where it's somatically, sort of sympathetically connected to. So if you're getting pain in the shoulder and the stomach and the neck and the jaw, this will be flaring up for you as well. And so by bringing your hand like this, and you just take some deep breaths. And for me, when I was in the water, deep enough bath, it was just enabling me to float. So if you've got a local flotation tank, oh, go and use it. It just enable yourself to feel that feeling of softening and releasing and being held. I think this is super important for our bodies to feel safe. And water will be, you know, probably the most important element. Not only does it carry consciousness, it's also what we are when we're born. We're in the womb. We're in this fluid. It's what supports us. And holds that wisdom. So naturally, going back to water will bring deep embryonic shifts for us. So when we're working through the body, it will take you often right back to you as an embryo, or how you formed. Any stress of the mother at that point would have been referred into you. You would have absorbed that too. And equally, no stress, but the generational trauma will come through as well. And so when we can work deep to that embryonic level, and if we're connecting into the phrenic nerve, that can take us into that point as well. So we can do some very deep healing for ourselves and resetting for ourselves, resetting those patterns and those behaviors and those beliefs that formed our bodies. So actually working in this space is doing some real deep work and through the fascia. Okay. So bringing your hands to your heart. You may want to do this lying down so you feel like a little bit more gravity, pressure on your chest. And you just take some gentle breaths and you imagine your palm of your lower hand sort of sinking deeper into your sternum, into your breastbone. Bringing your breath to that space as well. And you can bring a little gentle pressure down from your top hand onto it, just to kind of be guided. And at this point, just thank your body for its intelligence, its innate wisdom, to bring you back to your purest of health, to discern what is pure and what is not, what is yours and what is not, what is love and what is not. And just really give yourself that permission to trust your body, to sink deeper into your body, to know this beautiful, beautiful, miraculous bodysuit is so intelligent and it has everything that we need to know. And it's about remembrance, reconnecting to that. And so as you give yourself that intention, that trust, you just tune into your breath. You feel how your body feels supported, whether you're lying down. Lying down, I think, would be the better way of doing this because it just changes the waves of your brain waves. It helps you shift more into like theta, which is where we can start to rewire the brain. So, and also you're not having to hold yourself, so you can really allow yourself to sink deeper and deeper into that support. Because quite frankly, what I see the body is like when we haven't had unconditional support. It's always been conditional. Love's been conditional. That's not love, by the way. That's manipulation. We've never quite been able to soften. Our systems are wired up in survival because we couldn't quite be open. It wasn't safe to be. And this can, even if you don't recognize that you've had trauma in your life, there'll be elements of that in your body, but especially if you have had trauma. And so working through this helps you to really start to go through the layers that are fear, that keep you disconnected from yourself. So I think we're going to go into a little journey of this. I'm going to read what I wrote the other day as I recognized myself getting a little bit like activated, should I say, by the outer world. So it's kind of like a recalibration back to self. I see you. I see you feeding fear and separation in the algorithm. I see you propaganding disempowerment and hopelessness. I see you exercising blatant attempt of control and governance. Yet I have news for you. Every time you market fear and separation, I see your desperation. Every time you further your desperation for control, I realize the unconscious and subconscious programming of victimhood, suppression and oppression, ingrained within my mind and body, blood and bones. Every time you activate this within me, I thank you for being the activist of my sovereignty, for me to release such illusions and disillusionments I've inherited from my ancestors. I thank you for that shock, the gut punch of fear and hopelessness, for it unshackles it from my core. For each moment, I choose consciousness. I choose my truth. I choose my sovereignty. I choose to remember the divinity, light, power, and unity within me. And in every present moment, the encapsulation of my soul and spirit weakens. It dissolves the dust upon the crumbling foundations and infrastructures you have created to keep me separated and small. For I have awoken and awakening. Every conscious present moment, I choose peace. For every conscious present moment, I choose love. For every conscious present moment, I choose to remember the light and the unity of every divine soul. For every present moment, I choose forgiveness and compassion. My frequency and heart expands in truth, power, and reclamation. Upon this expansion, I create waves within the collective. I create seismic shifts, recognizing my power through inspiration. As I call in unity of my heart, the unity of collective awakened souls. For I do not fight you. I do not fight your fear with fear. For I do what you fear the most, and that is to choose love. For I do not exhaust myself in your loops, smoke, and mirrors. I consolidate my energy, my power, my light, that you so desire to behold, with the innocence of my heart, in heart-minded consciousness. And when I have fully embodied this truth in every breath, it will no longer exist. For I am the observer, and I am the creator. Thus, when all that has been observed to be alchemized returns me to full sacred conscious embodiment of my soul and divinity, what has fed you for eternity will no longer. Thus you shall cease to exist. Within the dark womb of Sophia, it is absolute. Thank you for reminding me of my sovereignty. I release you. It is done. Quite possibly even seeing the blessing of this darkness, this reconfiguration of happening to victim disempowerment to happening for me, for my remembrance and for my growth, and a twisted fate of realization. I recognize that you have served me. Just allow those words to float through the fabric of your mind and your body in a way that is most aligned to you. And there'll be parts of you that may be challenging that, resisting that. Or you may not, you may simply have just breathed that all in. But always thanking your heart wisdom. Any resistance, be curious of that resistance. For that resistance is a gold in itself when you are present with it. And with acceptance, resistance cannot exist. So I'm just imagining ourselves here at a most beautiful, darkest of nights, around a campfire with its most golden flames. Yet it's in this gentle, slow motion. You can see the dancing of the flames, the various colours, even the lighter blue that goes deeper within the fire. You feel your body held by the beautiful earth, so soft yet firm, where your body sinks into remembrance of this connection, this beautiful love that is this conscious being that is our earth, our Gaia. As we remember that our roots are her roots, as our neural system begins to ground and remember the roots of the trees, the mycelium, the network, the intelligence that runs throughout the soil and through the earth. Like too, our neural system. And here we just take breaths. We remember. We quieten in this beautiful, dark, still night. May witness the silhouettes of the trees, these beautiful pine trees, this forest that seems to create a beautiful horseshoe around you, around your back, in this beautiful open clearing. The beautiful light of the moon and the stars. In this darkness, you see the light. The stars that you wouldn't have seen during the daylight, you witness their beauty, the constellations. For me, I'm seeing the Orion and the Orion belt, and the significance in Cyrus. This true, it comes exceptionally strong and visible within to the winter solstice. And we're bringing in alignment. We're bringing in the connection to our body, to the earth. You imagine putting our hands on the ground and we feel our roots, the power, the frequency, our light, radiating beautiful golden roots into the earth. Our beautiful golden energy feeding the earth. That lights up like a beautiful golden network underneath us. This intelligence that we have walked upon every day yet not connected to, we see it. And we realize this beautiful golden light that flows out from our hearts, out through our minds and our central nervous system, down through our sacrum, through our legs, and out through our hands. We are like this beautiful tree of light. We are this vessel that brings heaven on earth, this conduit. You may even feel like we just want to lay down to the earth, to remember to feel her heartbeat, like you would put your hand on the earth, like you put a hand on someone else's chest to feel the heart. And we remember. We return to what is our pure mother, who's birthed us, who's given us everything that we have needed in absolute abundance. We feel her grace, we feel her love, and we feel her power and her strength. And then we see that light, like the flames of the fire. We see those gentle flames in our heart reflecting that purification, that alchemization, but more of a diamond flame of light. Allowing that light to grow within, whether it's like a crystal light, wherever it is that forms around you. This wholeness that emanates around your skin, these different energy bodies that, like a rainbow of light, these layers of light that glow around you. You witness this translucency, this pulse, how the layers from the energetics to the physical and to the physical to the energetics, how these are connecting, aligning. Breathing deeper into your body, deeper connection to the light that's in you through the cells. Imagine your blood cells moving through the cell of the blood cell. You see that light through the interstitial fluid that surrounds every cell as it receives, transports, gives everything that you need and lets go of everything you do not. This innate wisdom that holds every single cell. Thank it for its discernment of what is pure and what is not. Physically, emotionally, mentally. Allow that conscious wisdom to awaken fully now within you. That comes from the wisdom that is your heart, the brain that is your heart, your mind that becomes curious and open to this power that is your heart. Feel that moving, pulsing, expanding through you. Being aware of any parts that may feel confined or constricted, and just breathe to that space. Give compassion to this space. For me, I feel that in the back of my neck, in the back of the brain, the front part of the nasal area. You may want to pinch your nose at the top. These are like the bladder points of your meridian. These are connection points of your stomach. Your gallbladder is like a very powerful point to cleanse and to clear. It's like we're opening up a highway of all these different beautiful meridians, these pathways in our body to open, to connect. It could become coherence and to then be released through the bladder, through the kidneys, where the body starts to work as one. You need to open up your crown of your head, just let it release it out. Only energy releasing, not coming in. It's just a pure, like giving your body that permission to disperse anything that isn't of light, of pureness. So it's out through the crown of your head, out through your skin, out through your hands and your feet. You're just giving yourself that permission to release these skinless layers, this confinement, these patterns. It's just pulsing from this core that is your heart, this radiance. Keep flowing with your breath. For me, it is really truly holding on to this point of the nose around the eyes and giving it a little pinch and a twist. It seems to release that pressure on the head. If you need to massage around your head, just gently as it's doing it. If you may want to bring your hands, the cup behind your head, that supports the occiput. That's it. Maybe behind what your head and to your heart. Just calling in balance here. Just rooting everything back to your heart. This reconfiguration, this neuroplasticity, everything starts to come from this wisdom that's within us. All that programming, all the conditioning just starts to release deep into the mind. You may want to then bring the right hand to your forehead, your left hand on your heart. Calling your light to the front of your brain, to the center of your mind. But it's radiating from your heart, calling in balance here. Because the brain will go in overload as we start to try and let go of these old patterns. So we're just calling in this peace, this calm, this trust. Take in some deep breaths. And then you may bring your right hand down to your stomach, to our solar plexus. And we're bringing that support, that coherence now, again through the heart, but through the mind. And to our solar plexus, where we hold this place of discernment of what is pure and what is not. So again, like our organs, we're giving them the support of how to let go, what to let go of. Where's the wisdom? Where's the gold? Where's the forgiveness? Where's the rage? Where's the grief? The emotional intelligence from what has been, what has happened. Is it in our stomach that isn't even ours to be carried anymore? Or is it that we need to hand back? It's not even ours to process. Let's just release right now, right from the stomach. Just thank you, body, for discerning what is not mine. Send it back out. Gone. When you come to the liver, thank it for showing the anger, the rage of where the underneath the layer of that is. Where is the self-worth? Where is that part, that voice that says that you deserve better, that you are worthy, that you are love, that you are equal, that you are beautiful, that you are a divine being? Bring that in. Let that come up and flame and create the light and the alchemy that it needs to create. Breathe to that. Breathe to that wisdom. Breathe to this alchemy in this process of transformation. Letting go of all those fears and those attachments, letting go of the betrayal. It runs deep from the liver to the heart. Acknowledge that. Bring it forward, bring it into consciousness, bring it into the cells and bring it into the fluids to release it now. Ooh, take breaths, whatever you need to do. Just again, trust in your body is doing this at the level that is discerning and comfortable and graceful for you. Take it to your pancreas, where we feel that grief, where we feel the joy as we connect through deeper through our heart, that we're never separated. As joy and grief seem to wrap around one another like a green and pink, like the heart. It's like that little healing process of the heart, but to realize that nothing is separate. There's a process of letting go to allow growth. like those leaves of the tree. Nothing is separate. So we thank the bodies for finding that, processing the grief, the release, to realize one is all, to then come through your intestines to discern what is pure and what is not, what is yours, what is not, is not. What is the inner gold? Where's the wisdom that you can take from this? Where are the blessings that you can take from this pain, the betrayal, the abuse? What can your body take and hold that innate wisdom to embody, to accept the unacceptable, never to be accepted again, and to be able to then move through the forgiveness, the large intestine, that final act of letting go. As we bring in the forgiveness prayer, we give ourselves the permission to let go, to release fear, to release hurt, to release suppression, and to remember the beautiful being that we are, to release suffering, and to become this divine, powerful being that we are, that comes from our hearts of unconditional love, from the light of Sophia. We remember our pureness, our divinity. We remember that each of our souls have been here to try and remind us of who we truly are, rather than being keeping us in the loops and the patterns. And so I forgive you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you. I forgive you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you. Know that you can release this. Know that forgiveness isn't about acceptance of that pain. It's acceptance of the unacceptable, not to be accepted again. This is your emotional intelligence. This is wisdom here. This is the golden steps that you step upon to realize that you will not fall back into suffering. This is consciousness becoming sacred into your body. I forgive you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you. Taking those breaths. Move your body if you need to do this. Cat-cow, breath work, line breath, whatever you need to do to help shift this out of your body, to transmute, to alchemize, whatever needs to be done. And with that, you can shake your legs, shout, scream, whatever you need to do. Shake, jump up and down, let your nervous system become reconnected, to reconfigure itself, to let go. And to know that you have activated something very powerful within you. You have created a shift, a seed of change. And it starts with every conscious step, every breath, every present moment. And with each present moment, we hold compassion for ourselves. And then when you're ready, just bring yourself back to your heart, back to your hands, your heart. Bring that gentle little pressure, movement. It may feel different. Be curious, see if there's a difference there. For me, there felt like a bit of tension before. And just breathe into it, massage it, give it some love. Interestingly, you may feel it. Your body's releasing. I think there's a lot of wind to disperse at the moment. And, as the cells release that. Okay, so just landing. And then bringing your hands together, I like to give them a little press against one another, the palms, as this is just calling in the balance of your left and your right brain. And to come into coherence, I bring my hands, touch my pituitary gland, my third eye, and my thumbs into my heart, where I am calling in this heart conscious wisdom, this perspective. Ooh, and there we go, beautiful souls. Lots of love, and listen to this as often as you need to. Take care.